thank you so much for watching. Today's video is a tutorial on this look that I'm wearing right now, which I'm super excited that I did because I have been really stuck into simple neutral looks lately. And even though this is neutral and it's all matte, so it's not like too out there, I tried to step out of my comfort zone by creating a cut crease. This is like a circular or round cut crease. I know this could be a little bit intimidating for many of us, but I tried to make it as simple as possible. I'm going to be explaining as much as I possibly can to make it as simple as possible for you guys to recreate this look. So if you want to see exactly how I created this look, then let's keep on watching. Okay, so to begin, I'm going to be using my Master Prime primer all over my face because we're going to do the entire face for this video. And then I'm going to be taking my corrector and just correcting my under eyes. That corrector was from Becca. And then for foundation, I'm going to be mixing my Vanish foundation also with my Infallible Pro Glow foundation, which has been my favorite for the longest now. I love this foundation. And the combination of these two together is just everything. It gives me such a nice bronzy but natural look. I really love it. Now with the powder emphasized, I already did my brows and applied a primer on my eyes. I'm setting all the way from brow bone to lid space just to make sure that we highlight that area and also to set the base. And then I'm going to get Peach Smoothie from Makeupgeek and I'm just running that all over the upper crease as my initial transitional color. You're not going to see much, but this is just going to help us give us a nice transition, and I kind of begin tracing where I want my crease to be. So just blend that until your fingers hurt, and I'm using the E240 brush from Sigma, and we're running this from inner corner to outer corner of the crease. Next, I'm taking Cocoa Bear, which as you can see is a little bit more warm and it's more on the darker side, more browny. And I'm applying that again from inner to outer part of the crease. And this time I'm using a smaller blending brush. To be precise, this is a 237 from Sigma. And this time I'm being more careful. So I'm applying it a little bit above my natural crease line just because I have a little bit of a hooded eyes, and not too much. You might not think I have a lot, but I do, so I have to apply it slightly higher than my natural crease. So that's where we're tracing the line and just blend in a windshield swiper motion until you feel that it's completely blended. If you need help, always you can come back in with a clean blending brush and just smooth out the edges. Okay, next I'm going to be taking Mocha, which is a more of a neutral dark brown, and with the same brush I'm going to begin placing this right on the crease, slightly lower than the other shadow that we just applied, just to give it a little bit more definition and more dimension. So just in windshield swiper motion, and this time I'm also applying it, as you can see, like in tapping motions on the outer V of the lid, just because I wanted the cut crease to be a little bit more round, not necessarily leave the entire lid space blank. So if you need to blend more, always take a clean blending brush and it's going to be your best friend. It's going to make everything way more easier. Next, I'm taking Fudge from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I believe this is the Shadow Couture palette, and with this very precise brush that I really love is the E45 from Sigma. I'm going to begin at marking the crease even more, intensifying it and making it more defined. So windshield swiper motion again from beginning of the crease to the end and all the way to the outer V of the eye. And once again, if you want to blend more and you want to make sure everything looks nice and smooth, go back in with a cleaner brush, a more of a fluffy brush to blend out the edges. And if you want to define things even more, I took Corrupt, which is a black eyeshadow, and I gave it even more definition using the same brush. Alright, so now it's time to cut that crease. So grab your knife. Just kidding. And we're going to be grabbing a concealer. I'm using this Masterclass concealer, which I actually don't like for my under eyes, but for this we're trying to give it some use. So I am using a very precise brush from Real Techniques. I believe this is the definer brush or detailer brush. I think it's a detailer brush, and I'm just cutting that crease. I'm taking my sweet time, you guys. You have no idea. This takes me a couple of minutes, at least 5 minutes for me to get this right. I am not a pro on this, so you can do it as well. You just have to have a lot of patience and make sure that you use the tip of the brush to cut and define that crease. And this concealer was a little bit too wet, so I made sure that I set it in place right away. And I'm using the same emphasized powder also from MAC, and I'm just applying that all the way in all the areas that I apply that concealer, so all over the lid space. You can also go back in with a little bit more of either of the darker shadows that you use, and make sure that you clean out around the crease so it looks nice and cut. Now I took Soft Peach from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I'm applying that right in the center of the lid just to use it as kind of like a transitional base. And next I'm taking Morocco from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's a super warm dark brown. And I'm applying that, just packing it on the outer V, like the outer part of the lid. And then we're going to transition into Creme Brulee. And we're going to try to blend it in and make a nice, like even, smooth transition into darker, lighter, and then light. Super light. So just make sure that you go back and forth with the two brushes that you use so that it has a nice blending effect. I am going back and forth, as you can see here, Morocco, and then I go right back in with Creme Brulee so that it has a nice and smooth transition. And then now I'm going to be lining my eyes. I'm going to create a super thin line. This is using the number 77 gel liner from England. I wanted it thin because I wanted the cut crease to show off a lot, but I actually kind of regret that. I wish I made it a tiny bit thicker, but you can do you. You can decide whether you want it thin or thick. Pause. And yeah, so I'm just lining my eyes. And I'm applying some mascara. And to save some time, I applied my false lashes off camera. I use Cocoa Lashes in the style Queen Bee, which I love. And then to highlight, I'm using my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I use it in the tone Tan, and it's just not light enough for a full glam look. So just to brighten things up, I went back in with my Pro Longwear Concealer from MAC in the number NC25, just to make it a little bit brighter. So I'm just applying a little bit, not too much of it, just to lighten things up. And then we're gonna blend that in with the Beauty Blender. And then now to set everything in place, I'm using my no color powder from RCMA, which is super affordable and I really like it. But I have to tell you guys that I have to apply it with a wet beauty blender. If I apply it straight with a brush, it can kind of dry me out. So after I apply it with a beauty blender, I go right over it with a brush just to remove any excess of powder. And then now from my lower lash line, I don't want to do anything too dramatic, so I'm just going in with pretty much all the colors that I use on the upper part of my eye. So I began with Soft Peach, then I used Cocoa Bear, and I think that was it. I think it was just Soft Peach and Cocoa Bear, and I just applied that and make sure that I took a clean blending brush and smooth out everything and make it look extra smoky. And then now I'm taking Rockstar from Urban Decay. This is kind of like a plum purpley eyeliner, which lasts me a very long time. It's one of their 24/7 eyeliners, and I really love it because it makes my brown eyes pop. And then in the inner corners of the eyes, I just took the emphasized powder one more time to brighten things up. So now we're pretty much done. So I just need to apply a little bit of mascara. I am using this one from Tarte, which I will lose money if I could remember the name right now. I cannot remember the name. And then to contour my nose, I'm using this Laura Mercier Contour Kids is like one of their cream contours, and I'm using the lighter shade to contour my nose. I have really been enjoying that lately, especially for a glam look. And then to chisel out the rest of the face, I'm using my NYX Contour Kit. I use the warmer shade to just warm up the face, basically, like to bronze. And then to cut the cheeks even more, I go right into the darkest shade on the palette, just so that it gives me more of a defined cut look. And then I'm just blending. And then for blush, I'm using my 9N palette from Morphe, and I'm grabbing the two peachy shades. And with that, I'm just blushing my face. So I don't necessarily apply it on the apples of my cheeks because I feel that it makes me look sad. But what really makes me look happy is some highlights. I'm using MAC's Gleaming Blush, and I love this one. Is it Gleaming Blush? I think so. It's one of their extra definition highlighters. It's one of their latest ones, and I am obsessed with this one because it's golden, but it has a little bit of like an iridescent pink that is so different, and it looks so beautiful, especially for summer. And now we're gonna set the entire face with a setting spray to make sure that we lock everything in place. And now I'm taking the lip liner from Wet n Wild in the tone Willow. And then for lipstick, I'm using Sultry Swirlette, which I cannot pronounce. It's from Maybelline. And it's just a very pretty pinky nude, so we're just applying all over the lips, and that is it. That is the finished result. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video, that you found it helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I see you guys next time. Bye.